working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you'll see
I
me
was
at.
just wondering if anybody could move back towards that
Oh, yeah.
door. That
Yeah.
everybody would be visible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what do I do this? Laura, I need to do something.
And then
Just
you
close it.
X out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great. And it looks like Joseph's away.
Oh,
And that gives us a quorum.
we're waiting for,
Obi and McKetta's not joining. We're all here. We're all good.
yeah, no, we're just waiting for Elisa.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off
Sure.
since we have a quorum. So it's 4:02. And I see Garris, Josie, OB, Steve, Rick, Emily, and McKetta is not joining us today. So wonderful. We had a workshop earlier today leading into our regular meeting. So that workshop is available on YouTube to watch as a recording. And one of the things we'll talk about in future considerations is scheduling our next workshop for August. So that's one thing we'll come back to. We will start our regular meeting with citizens to be heard. If there's anyone who's joined who would like to make a comment, go ahead and put into the chat that you'd like to make a comment, and we'll invite you to speak. So John, I think I need to pull up chat and see if there's anybody. It looks like if there's only 6 in the meeting,
Yeah.
that everyone here is counted for. So with that, we'll move on. We don't have any public hearings today, but generally, is there any ex parte communications or disclosures to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of meeting minutes from our June 28th meeting. Does anybody have any discussion or changes to the minutes? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Steve, Rick, there's a chance, one person. All right.
I move we adopt the minutes.
Oh, wait, hold on, OB.
Oh.
Rick got
I
there.
will second that.
I don't have to push the mute button.
Use increased response time.
So this is an in-person thing. This feels so strange. So we have a motion by Rick to adopt the Monday, June 28th minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Garish. Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand. And John, I need to see the, yeah, I'm getting there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Josie, I think I saw your hands. That is unanimous. We hit the grid.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hit view up on the upper right hand.
Upper right below the X.
Yeah, right there in gallery view. There's the Brady Bunch. All right. So Josie, sorry, I couldn't see you. Yes? Wonderful. Unanimous 6-person adoption of the minutes with 1 absence. Okay. Moving on. So as we go into the rest of our action items, because of, oh gosh, you know what? Because of the noticing, I think we'll have to repeat that. So we had an error in the noticing actually. So the way that we're going to have to run today's meeting is through discussion, and then we'll have to take formal action at our next meeting or call an emergency meeting, which is I think the preferred approach that county staff would like us to take. So we'll talk about that as well in future considerations. The punchline is we can discuss today any items, but we will call a separate meeting to take any motions into act. So I apologize, but Rick, your motion was preliminary on my part. We'll actually need to delay that until such time that we have properly noticed our meeting. So with that, we are going to move into staff reports and updates. Again, opportunity for conversation because this is not a public hearing. It's just an administrative item. We can have discussion and then we will take our action at a separate time. So John, the floor is yours.
Okay. It's actually going to be Elisa, but she's not here yet.
We can postpone this item if somebody would like to move to table this agenda item until Elisa has joined us.
I don't think she's there
You
yet.
might also want to share your screen.
I'll make a motion to delay the table the Creekside Estates PUD Phase 2 preliminary plat discussion until Elisa joins.
Okay, is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by OB. All in favor? All right, I see majority hands, so we will table that.
I could not hear the motion. Could you repeat it again? The audio is not that great.
Shoot, Garish, I'm sorry.
Really?
If I speak closer to this, are you able to hear me?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Or
The motion
Steve
was
wants to make his motion, but have his mouth closer to the microphone. I think that would work out fine, okay.
Sure. Could you do me a favor? If you click, or John, I think it's yours. If you could click the arrow next to the microphone on the top left, let's just make sure that it's this input and not your computer. Sorry, no,
it should
it's,
be that.
yeah, I just know Zoom sometimes switches around on me. Give us one moment. We're just making sure we have the right microphone selected.
Where are we going here?
Oh,
That one sounds great.
okay. Well, so the motion was to table that agenda item until Elisa has joined us because she's going to give the staff report. And just to follow Robert's rules, we do need a motion. So the motion was made by Steve and it was seconded by OB. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And all of that is sort of moot because it looks like she's about to join the room. So it's the cost of being, specific, I guess. Elisa, are you able to join? Here we go. Well, folks, I hate to say it, but we need another motion to bring it back in, I think. So
I'll make a motion to discuss the Creekside Estates PUD Phase 2 preliminary plat. Now that we have
Second.
all, well, here.
seconded by Obi. All in favor? All right, we have majority acceptance. Apologies for that, everyone. Robert's rules.
It's good practice.
Good practice. So, okay, that moves us into the staff report on the Creekside Estates PUD Phase 2 preliminary plat. And Elisa, I think that's yours to lead.
You need to unmute Lisa.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So the Creekside, this has had a lot of history that you're all familiar with, but we're at the stage now where I believe this should be a pretty simple thing to get through. So basically it's preliminary plat, and we have all the stipulations that have been met are in the staff report there. So basically the applicant would like to plat the final phase, and the Creekside PUD was approved in July of 1997 for a total of 6 lots. The first phase was platted as 6 1-acre lots, and this is being platted Phase 2 as Tract A. The applicant has submitted the PUD application for Phase 2 and was reviewed and approved by the County Council on January 19th, 2021, ordinance number 625. This submission is for a preliminary plat process within the Article 7 subdivision standards. The approved PUD allows for clustering of the lots, which, there's 4 lots that are slightly under half an acre. And then there's 2 lots that are substantially over an acre. So that way, that is allowed under the PUD, and that was all approved back in the day. So the preliminary drainage has been approved by the county engineer. Groundwater and sewer has approved the civil plans for infrastructure. The county engineer and road department have determined that a private lane standard of 24-foot paved surface width will be adequate on Bench Road and Creekside Road. So that's the summary. And then essentially, when it comes time for final plat, we need to make sure that they have their approval from all of the final approval from all the different entities that need to sign off on the final plat, obviously, and ensure that any of the infrastructure improvements are made between now and final plat. So if you have any questions regarding any of the other aspects of this project, we can open it up to questions.
Garish? Garish, go ahead. Can he not do it?
I'm assuming you're saying garish. I really have a hard time. If you could go back, Alyssa, to that previous plat that shows the existing proposed configuration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not clear, but reading through the packet, what is the driveway for lot 2 and who owns that? I see that there's an easement, but I think it's a 10-foot easement for I'm not sure what the easements are, but I'm
The 10
curious
foot,
as easement, that's probably a utility easement.
that's correct.
So who owns the access for lot 2?
Are you talking about the dirt road that goes in between lot 2 and lot 6? That would be the access.
The packet describes it as a driveway to East Bench Road, I believe. And I don't see an easement for it, and I'm just curious, or maybe it's there. I'm just asking the question because it didn't stand out as being on this plat when I reviewed it before.
Yeah, I don't actually have that in front of me. My understanding was that the road, the Creekside lane, the private lane, was going to be sufficient, and the Bench private road was going to be sufficient access, that the road department signed off on that. So I'm assuming that the dirt road that goes in between, like it starts off of Creekside Lane, and it's between lot 1 and lot 3, and then it kind of goes back and winds around, and that's where the driveway, you can see a driveway access onto lot 2. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the ownership is on that dirt road, that access right there.
Well, I can see some potential issues in the future once Larry passes on or decides to sell or whatever, that there may be a question about how does lot 2 access a public road? I don't see any easements for that. So that's a question I've got.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I think, Garish, if I could jump in there, Emily, I think there's some challenges with the subdivision to begin with. There was originally a private road section that was already established. It was already a segment. We took a good look at this with the attorney in a development review team meeting, and Public Works was there too. We decided to leave this road as private, and it's still, there's an operation and maintenance agreement. There's easements, obviously, are part of the development as far as sewer and water with Grand Water and Sewer. There's investments that the applicant, Larry, has to make as far as getting those services in, and all the private lots are still parceled off, obviously, as it's shown. The challenge, I think, what you're kind of hitting at, I think, is that this private road remains a private road, even though there's a maintenance agreement and an access agreement that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice to change the whole thing.
I don't have an issue with it being a private road. Even private roads should have easements if they, I mean, according to our code, should have easements, or every lot should have a legal access. And I'm not sure that a private road maintenance agreement is sufficient to provide legal access to this lot. That's my only question.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that we've looked at all of that. It's not the greatest way to provide access. It's not the greatest way, but it is legal and physical.
Okay, that's my only question. Thank you.
So again, we're not going to take action on this item today, but I do want to make sure there's sufficient discussion and opportunity to clarify anything with staff. So does anyone else have any additional questions or comments for clarification? Okay.
Is there an ongoing lawsuit with this development? There was, no, I thought there was.
I don't think so. I think there was one in the past, but I believe that is in the past now.
Okay.
Yep, that's settled. Garris, did you have your hand raised again? Okay.
Yep. The packet also suggests that if the planning commission requested that we could get an architectural rendering done, and I'm not suggesting that we need one or not, but wouldn't an architectural rendering be more applicable if the developer was proposing to develop rather than just subdivide?
Correct. Yeah, I'm not sure, you know, I have to say, I didn't put the staff report together, and I thought about, when I saw that, I thought later, after I'd already sent this out, that probably doesn't need to be in there, that recommendation.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, well, if there's no further discussion, then unfortunately, we are going to need one more motion to table this. And then when we do meet again, ideally in our special meeting, we will remove it from the table. This is me being a stickler, but we need to be formal about it. So, Garish?
I missed the part of why we need to table this. It's because why do we?
There was an error in the reporting, and so Mallory asked us to delay any actions. And so we are going to discuss having a separate special meeting to take action on this just for this particular item. But we're going to have a conversation around scheduling of that in just a moment.
Yeah, if I could just clarify, we were supposed to put this in, we didn't see this as a public hearing because it's not, it's a public meeting. But our land use code requires us to post this both on the Utah state website and our own website, which we did our own, but we didn't do the state. So it's one of those oversights. So our hope is that we can do something as a follow-up to this meeting.
Perfect.
I'd like to move that we table the Creekside PUD issue.
Okay, seconded by Garish. So a motion by OB to table any action on the Creekside PUD, seconded by Garish. Any discussion? Okay, if not, I'll call the vote. All in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, but we need to hear so Garish can hear.
So just a question for John. So based on what we gave a favorable recommendation for on our previous meeting about preliminary plats and final plats not being within this body, that'd be a prime example because it's purely
It's not the
administrative.
greatest example of a plat, but it's a good example of an application.
Right.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. So this will take us into the county commission update and county commission action items.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Because if not, I'll turn off my video and that might help.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know if I start to break up. I will just go over some items that were covered at the last commission meeting. Let's see, Maggie, I'm not sure how to say her name, sorry, Logowitz, the Director of Active Transportation and Trails. She talked to us about the Trails Ambassador Program, and we are chipping in some money to help with that. So they're actually going to have people on site at heavily used trails to hopefully be able to, you know, just give information, but also keep people using our natural resources appropriately. Mac McDonald from San Juan County came to talk about the fire rehab that will be instigated in the LaSalle's, and talked about the bear response, which is the burned area response. It's kind of some of the anecdotal information that we're getting out of that is things aren't as bad as they could have been from the fire. So that's really great to hear. Brian Murdoch from the Forest Service has already talked about seeing, things coming back already, willows, et cetera, and so on. The soil studies aren't coming back reflecting a really harsh burn, so that's all great. Let's see, there was an action item to repeal and replace Title 17. Use of public lands in Ordinance 602. Christina proposed this, which basically prohibited slacklining, attaching ropes and rigging to man-made structures on public land, and inciting criminal behavior. So those that might be inspiring people to do such behavior. And that was a pretty lengthy discussion and pretty split, but it did pass 4-3. With Stock, Wojtek, and Clapper in opposition of passing that. There was updates to Title 5, which is reciprocal licensing with the city of Moab. And basically, if my memory serves me, and John might have a little bit more information on this, it had to do with the Union Pacific Railway and the Rocky Mountaineer, I believe, is the proposed train that would come into Moab, but they don't come all the way in. They come basically to 313. And they were trying to bypass getting a Grand County business license, saying, well, we're not doing anything in Grand County. We're just going to directly going to shuttle people into the city of Moab. So that did not go over very well. John, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I could, yeah. So what happened was, what happened was RMR, I should say RMR, the Rocky Mountaineers proposal was to apply for a business license within the city. Their allegation was because they applied in the city, all they had to do was copy the county, and that was sufficient. So what Christina proposed was strengthening the business license bylaw to require them to apply for both the city and the county, even though the location of the rail drop-off is in the county. So it seems somewhat innocuous, but she wanted to strengthen the bylaws to make sure it reflected that. Anyway, they have a business office in town, in the city. They've applied for Moab business license. They'll need to apply for one with us as well as part of the amendment here, just to strengthen that.
What are the implications of that when it relates to other city businesses doing business in the county?
It doesn't change anything, no. So the standard one, trades, permits, plumbing things, without offices, that was the beauty of it, is they could apply for one. So this didn't change any of that. It's just that Rocky Mountaineer was looking at it as if they only needed one, even though they were in 2 locations.
Is there any risk or chance of it affecting, for example, guide services whose primary location of
It
business?
just strengthens already what we do.
Okay.
It just reflects that, yeah. Those good comments, because those came up too.
Yeah. Thank you, John. We appointed 3 new board members to the Thompson Springs Water Board. I think I've already discussed with you that we dissolved the water board due to basically they were supposed to be elected and they were not. They were appointed, and so we just dissolved that water board and started over. and so we've got 4 of us on board now. I'm on the water board also, and still looking for an additional member, but we have our first meeting on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll get things rolling. And then basically we had a public hearing to solicit input regarding the 2021 budget. You've probably heard that we're doing quite well at a county level. 5.4 million unallocated within the general fund and 8.4 million in total in the black. So that looks really good. I will state this is just a personal comment. I think Chris Barrett has just done a tremendous job. I think when COVID hit, he was able to really restrict the county's budget and keep us on track. And then, of course, he's the one who went to bat with the state legislature regarding TRT and was able to reform the use of TRT, meaning using less on marketing and more going into economic development. And so, yeah, we've had a glut of sales tax revenue, and then again, the tightening of the budget and the TRT. We've also got a little bit of money coming from the American Rescue Plan. All said, it's looking really good. So, you know, we are soliciting comments from the public what to do with that money. But one of the things that Chris has already mentioned that I guess we can just talk about as an action item is the idea of somehow producing some affordable housing with some of that money. So that's about it for me.
Thank you, Tricia. And I will emphasize a line from the paper on that item, that this is an item that the county commission doesn't receive a lot of input for, and it's pretty important. So if you're listening in, go and bug your county commissioners about what you think we should be doing to.
Yeah, and I've already gotten, I've gotten a couple comments that talking about affordable housing. You guys maybe know it was in a previous planning commission meeting, or sorry, county commission meeting. You know, the county does have some random weird parcels of land. And so we do have some random parcels of land. So maybe, you know, we think about just construction costs. But the other, I've gotten some comments about the, the bike lane that comes all the way out into Spanish Valley. People are really pushing for that, which is great. So some really great feedback already from the citizens.
Fabulous. Any questions for the county, for Tricia, about the county commission update? All right. With that, we will move on. Thank you, Tricia. Okay, this gets us to future considerations. There are two items right now that we need to discuss. One is a special meeting this week to take action on the Creekside PUD. It should be very short. Second, we'll talk about a workshop in August. But I guess first and foremost, personally, I'm actually traveling for work this week. And so for me, my schedule is a little tight, but if people are available at 5 p.m. tomorrow or Wednesday, we do want to take action by Wednesday so that staff has time to prepare this for the county commission and to notice it properly. My ask
If I
first.
could just interrupt.
Yes,
We actually
please
need
do.
a 24-hour notice, so it should be Wednesday be the best day.
Oh, because you need to notice
Yeah.
it, and today's Monday. Goodness. Okay. So Wednesday or Thursday or.
Maybe, that's pushing it a bit.
Okay, let's talk about Wednesday. So we do need to have a quorum, but we don't need everybody there. So what I'll ask is for Wednesday, let's start at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Are there 4 people, I guess 3 additional people that 5 p.m. on Wednesday could work? Obi, me, Steve, Garish. That's 4. Do we want to look at some other times just to give us a buffer? That's perfect. Would you call in? Like Zoom or telephone?
Telephone.
I think that works. We've had call-ins in the
Well,
past.
I can Zoom on my phone actually, so.
Okay, so there are
Sorry, 5 o'clock.
4 of us can definitely go with Rick as an alternate. We got a deep pitcher. I don't know baseball. I'm sure there's a term for it.
Deep pitcher is not the term.
Deep bullpen.
People.
Maybe.
Okay, so 5 p.m. on Wednesday, we'll get this notice. If you're able to attend, please do. We do need to have a quorum. So for those who raised a hand, if for whatever reason you're unable to attend, please let us know as soon as possible. And then we'll take action on the Creekside PUD. It should be a very short call. Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone.
That was 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Wednesday.
You need to vote on that. Don't you not?
Do we need to vote on that to add a? Is there
I
a?
don't know if you need to vote on that. I think.
Should we just in case?
Take action.
Yeah, can you take
action?
action?
We can take body action.
Okay.
So, yeah. So is there a motion to add a special meeting at 5 p.m. on Wednesday to take up at which point we will untable the Creekside PUD?
Now, does it have to be special or?
Special meeting. Special meeting.
I move that we have a special meeting on this coming Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
My second.
So motion by OB, seconded by Steve to have a special meeting at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. All in favor, raise your hand or say aye. That is unanimous.
Right.
Not sure we need that, but I'm glad we covered it.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for doing that. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And for those who aren't able to attend, I'm sorry, but I appreciate the expediency. So we want to schedule another workshop in August. We don't need to talk agenda at this point, and we don't even need to specifically set a date. But as you think about timing, when in August is your office thinking this would be most?
The last meeting in August, whatever. So it's the first, this is the first and, no, it's the second and, sorry, second and fourth.
So the 9th and the
Monday, isn't it?
23rd.
The
So it'd be the
23rd.
23rd, yeah.
So I know calendaring is difficult in the meeting, but if everyone took a moment to look at August 23rd, can we generally get a sense of a quorum to be able to attend that meeting? I can go. OB can go, Josie can go.
Same time.
Right
Same
now,
time,
2
Steve can
o'clock.
go. Okay, well, that gives us a quorum. So what we'll do is I'll send out an email after this, just making sure that everyone has a chance to look at their calendars, but let's tentatively hold that and we'll follow the same schedule of 2 to 3:30 with a 30-minute break before our 4 p.m. meeting is scheduled. Does that sound good? Anyone have any major objections to that as a tentative plan? Okay. I think in the meantime, John, as your office is moving forward, to the extent possible, to share updates regularly with Planning Commission of just, rolling updates, interview summary or whatever to that end. That way we're not waiting until our next meeting to set or to weigh in on an agenda. And planning commissioners, some of the things that we've been asked to contribute to are reaching out to Elisa if we have any suggestions for the land use code as it stands, which we'll handle ad hoc at the moment. As you are continuing to review the ongoing work with the general plan, staying in touch with what we discussed today and ongoing work, just raise questions to the body, anything that you want to make sure we discuss, anything that you think is not being addressed or you would like an update on. This is a fluid process and your voice matters. So please stay vocal and we'll ask staff to do the same. Okay, I think that's it for our agenda. Does anyone else have any other future considerations to raise? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, a move from Rick to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Steve. All in favor? Okay, thank you all. Enjoy your evening. Take care.
Thanks, guys.